Hello, this is Niev with the Rainbow Cauldron, and I'm here doing a reading for C, is what I'll call her, and her husband Jay. Um, they, she would like to know if there's a pregnancy in her future. She and her husband have been trying to have a baby for a while, and they just want to know where it's going. And all right, um, for readings where a client wants to know a future event, I find that a good spread is the trusty old Celtic cross. And it's a classic and just does a pretty good job getting the details of a situation. Um, for pregnancy readings, there are a few cards we're looking for. The Empress, the 10 or 9 of chalices, the stars. Stars usually indicate some sort of multiples, twin pregnancy, and really any card that features children. Well, the cards that I just mentioned above can mean many different things. If the theme of the reading is pregnancy or fertility, then I'm going to read those cards very literally and read them as indicating pregnancy in children. And all right, what we have here is I have just one stone, well, aside from the selenite and the quartz crystal, that direct energy. And I just put the green jasper here because green jasper is really great with fertility. And I'm going to put that right here. The selenite really enhances whatever stones are here, and then I have the quartz to direct energy. And the incense I have going is actually almost out because I've been lighting this for a while, feeling your energy and stuff. And this is a patchouli, and I absolutely love patchouli. It's really great for fertility. Okay, so these cards are already shuffled, and I'm going to start pulling them. The first card is where you're at currently, and that's the Knight of Swords. Your current influences, which is the Queen of Wands. The foundations of the situation is Ten of Wands. Past influences is the Knave of Swords. Your desired outcome is the Five of Swords. Upcoming influences is the Eight of Pentacles. Your strengths is the Nine of Chalices. That's one of those cards that I mentioned earlier. Your environment is the Queen of Swords. Hopes and fears is the Seven of Swords. And the final outcome, the likely outcome, is the King of Chalices. I'm going to move those up just a little bit. Okay. Well, right off the bat, I'm noticing, what I'm noticing is tons of court cards. The Knight, the Queen, the Knave, the Queen, and the King. Lots and lots of court cards. And what that indicates to me is that there are many people involved in this, and many people surrounding you and your husband. I see that as a lot of support. The cards here are swords. We got sword, 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 sword. And that's a lot of air energy, a lot of energy that is less about the material and more mental energies, being your thoughts, ideas, concepts, and intellect. This is clearly something that's been on your mind for a long time. This isn't a passing concern. It's something you've been thinking about rationally for a while. You may be starting to take steps to more active steps to accomplish this goal. Maybe you're charting your cycles, or you've talked about taking more logical steps outside of just having intercourse on a regular basis, you know. All right, so onto the reading. First card, the current situation, and we have the Knave of Swords. Starting to put ideas into action. tossing out what doesn't work and keeping what does. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and because I'm really seeing a connection with the fourth card in this reading, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fourth card represents past influences. Let's see the card here. And we have the Knave of Swords, which represents experimentation. And this card always kind of makes me think of, the key and the kite, Benjamin Franklin sort of stuff. It's a card of putting ideas out there and not being sure of the result. When I'm reading for like a younger person, I often see this as a card meaning finding yourself, something like that. And I feel like you guys have that you and your husband started out on this trying to conceive journey by just experimenting. Maybe the whole not trying, not preventing sort of thing, just going with the flow. And now that it's been a while, you're not seeing results, you're in a frame of mind where you're being more serious about it. And that's what we're seeing with your current situation. What's influencing your situation is the Queen of Wands, and this is caution, not making rash decisions. I feel like this is showing that you're not wanting to jump to conclusions. You guys have been trying for a while with no real results, but you're not wanting to jump on the worry train. You know that what you've been doing so far isn't working, so it's time to take a more active approach, but you're not wanting to assume the worst, and that's what we're seeing with that card. And the foundations of the situation is the Ten of Wands. This card basically means you have a lot on your plate right now. The woman here has her hands full. She's got her purse and bags, keys, phone, bag of groceries, etc. And she's holding on to all those things while using the light on her phone to see the lock in the door to try to unlock it. She's got a lot on her mind and a lot going on in her life. Sometimes the best thing we can do is put some of those things down so that we can open the door and then pick the stuff back up. Let go of some responsibilities for a temporary amount of time, just so you can gather everything together and then pick those stuff back up once you're more focused and in control. And then the past influences, experimentation, we already did that. And desired outcome. And this is victory, obviously. Pretty obvious here. You're wanting what you want more than anything else in the world. And then upcoming influences. The Eight of Pentacles. And this is one of my favorite cards. I really like this card. It always kind of resonates with me. Working carefully, enjoying your work, finding a balance and juggling your responsibilities. Well, basically, getting your shit together. The Ten of Wands here, the Ten of Wands has really learned how to better juggle her time and her responsibilities so that she can work carefully and responsibly, like the Eight of Pentacles here. And your strengths. And we're seeing the Nine of Chalices, the Wish card. Here's one of those cards we mentioned earlier. One of the cards that I'm looking for in a fertility reading. I would have liked to see this card in maybe the this position, the upcoming influences, or the likely outcome position, because both of these two cards represent future events. But we are seeing this card, so it does mean that there's hope, that there's your wishes may very well come true. um, we're we are seeing one of those wants coming true cards in this, which tells me that there's certainly a possibility. This card being in your strengths position tells me that this is something you will not stop trying for. You're going to keep trying until you get your wish, and that's what that is. Environment. We're seeing the Queen of Swords here. I'm actually going to read this with this card when I get to it, so I'll get back to this card. Hopes and fears. And we have the Seven of Swords. And this card represents deception. The imagery here is someone stealing documents from a file, trying to be secretive and stealing documents. And what this really means is you're not wanting to get your hopes up. You don't want someone to give you false hope. Basically, you don't want to be lied to, and that's totally understandable. You don't want your hopes to be brought up and to someone to give you false information about what's going on. And that brings me to the likely outcome, which I'm going to be reading along with this card because they are connected. And really, these three cards are connected. Okay, and what we're seeing with these two cards, this card is the environment card, which is the King of Swords, and this card is the likely outcome, which is the King of Chalices, Queen of Swords. Did I say King? I meant Queen of Swords and King of Chalices. Okay. They're both kind of indicating the same thing. In this situation with the Queen, I'm definitely getting some sort of Queen. I'm definitely getting some sort of medical help, and I'm getting something similar with the King as well. What I'm getting with both of these is medical help and maybe a specialist. With the Queen, we're getting a practical person, possibly your primary care provider. And really, these can be male or female. The titles Queen, King, etc. don't necessarily mean gender, though usually a Queen is a female and a King is a male. But I'm not getting specific genders here, just personality types. And I just want to make that clear. With the King card, well, the Queen, I'm getting your primary care provider. The King, I'm getting more of a specialist, and a compassionate specialist, as chalices tend to mean someone who is a little bit more on the emotional side, more compassionate, and I like that the King here is working with children in this image, and to me, this really indicates some sort of fertility specialist here. And I'm also connecting it here with the Seven of Swords, the card of deception. And the fact that it's right here in between these two medical professionals that I'm seeing shows to me that maybe you have a bit of a distrust towards medical professionals. And you're really not wanting to be given false information. And with the King of Chalices here, I'm really seeing a compassionate person, so I'm not seeing too much deception here. And not so much with the Queen either, but your fears, since this is the hopes and fears position, your fears is that you're going to get false information, and that someone's going to get your hopes up. So that's your reading. What I'm seeing overall here is that pregnancy and having a baby isn't going to be as easy as you would have hoped, because the final outcome positions, we're not seeing one of those pregnancy fertility cards, but we are seeing lots of hope here. And especially in your strengths position, we are getting that you're going to strive for your wishes coming true. And I just feel with these two cards that there's a pretty strong possibility that you're going to have to see your doctor about this, and maybe even a fertility specialist. Um, it may not be anything serious, but you it's unlikely here that this is just going to happen, uh, and you're probably going to need to take a more proactive approach. Um, and that's what I'm seeing here. And I really hope that the energy of the patchouli incense and the green jasper really help you um, attain this, and um, and with as minimal help as possible, because I want you to be able to experience your wish. And all right, well, that's your reading, and I hope it's insightful. I hope it helped. I really hope the energy that I sent to you helps, and I hope you have a good day. Blessed be. Thank you. Bye-bye.